Hello guys, welcome back. Now in this session onwards, we are going to look into data visualization to identify the deviation within the data set. So in this category, we are going to look into first diverging bars and then we will look into diverging dot plot. So in this session, we are going to look into diverging bars and we will also look into how to create diverging bar to identify the variance within the data set. As I already mentioned in one of my earlier session, this kind of data visualization is used to identifying how the items are varying based on a single metric. It helps us to visualize the order and the amount of the variance our data set contains. So now let's proceed further and let's look into a diagram what actually we are going to produce in this session. So in this session we are going to plot this graph in Jupyter Notebook. So if you closely look into this graph, then you will find that at the x-axis we are representing the mileage information and at y-axis we are representing the model of the car. So with the help of this plot you can easily identify that how much mileage variance we are having within the given data set. You can also easily identify that which car is giving more mileage. So let's now proceed further and let's write the program to generate this plot. So to generate the divergent plot, more specifically diverging bars, we are going to follow the same pattern which contains the same 5 steps, which has little bit of variance at step 3 while preparing the data, as well as step 4 where we will see a new type of a plot that is called H lines for plotting the diverging bars. So let's start. So I have created a separate Jupyter notebook and over here the first step and the second step I kept it already filled, as a step 1 is the same step, repetitive code it is, so I have copied and pasted it. And the second step we are getting the same data set which I already mentioned, that is empty cars.csv, and this is the location from where you can get the data. Now let's proceed to the step 3. Select this cell, press B, and over here let's prepare our data. So over here I am going to specify x, and x I am considering it over here is the mpg, that is miles per gallon, and that is residing into the data frame, and I will tell that df.loc. Again I am going to use the loc for slicing. So this time I want to select mpg, so I need to follow this pattern of slicing, colon, comma, and over here you need to specify a square bracket, and within that you need to specify the column name, and over here we are having mpg. I will show you. Over here you come and specify the data frame, shift enter, then you will see it over here, this mpg. So I am telling that I am considering it as a x, and that is the column I am just extracting. So now let's proceed further. The next step, I am going to calculate the z-score for this x. Z-score I have already discussed in the part 2 of my Learn Data Analysis from Scratch course. So in this part of the course, I have discussed over here in the descriptive statistic concepts, I have already been discussed the z-score or a standardized score in detail. So how we can calculate the z-score? So I will tell that over here I need to specify in the data frame I am going to create a column which will holds the z-score for mpg. So I will tell that mpg z equal to, and over here I will mention the formula, and the formula is going to be x minus x dot mean. So it will calculate the mean, and over here it will be divided by standard deviation. So this is the formula will give the value within this particular column that will holds the z-score value. Now let's proceed further. The next step, I need some colors, and for that I need to generate those color on the basis of some condition, and that color I am going to hold into the column of the data frame, and I am calling it as a colors. And over here I am going to use the list comprehension operator, and here I will specify for x in df, and we have used this mpg z. It will iterate all the value of this, and it will now compare. It will check if x is less than 0, then it become red. So we should specify over here red, else it should be green. So we need to tell that else make sure that this red should be coming in front. I am hoping that you already aware about this kind of iteration. This is called list comprehension, which I have already covered in one of my course, Learn to Code from Scratch with Python 3, where I have discussed about this particular list comprehension in more detail. For a time being, you just consider it. It is one way by which you can iterate the data frame. This column we are iterating one by one and checking the value whether this particular value is less than 0. If it is less than 0, then we are telling that it should be red, and if it is greater than 0, then it should become green. So this is what we are doing, and we are assigning it into a column. Now let's proceed to the next step. In our diagram, you have seen that the data is being in sorted order. So now the next step, we need to sort the data. So now let's write the steps for sorting. So here I am going to write df dot sort value. This is the method we are going to use, and I want on the basis of mpz z, the z score which we have calculated, and we must have to tell that in place equal to true. Once it is being done, we need to reset the index. df dot reset underscore index in place equal to true. So now we have prepared our data. Now let's move further and draw the plot now. So select this cell, press B. Now we have to start writing the code for draw plot. So if you remember, the first thing we need to do is to create the figure. So with the help of this method, we are going to create the figure, and the figure size is going to be our standard size which we have been using, that is 16,10, that is for length, height and width. And then we need to specify the DPI is going to be 80. Now the next step, we need to draw the diverging bar, and this time I am going to use the method hlines, and here we need to specify some of the parameter. We will get the details of the parameter from the matplotlib documentation, and the URL for this plot is this one. You should remember it. And to draw the diverging bar, we are going to use this method, and here we need to specify all these parameters. So let's do it. So the first parameter, we need to specify y equal to df dot index, then x mean equal to 0, and x max equal to our df dot mpz z. And here we are going to use these colors which we have generated earlier with the help of this list comprehension, where we are iterating each of the value of the z score, and then we are deciding whether it is a green or red as per the z score. If it belongs to the negative number, then it become red, and if it belongs to the green positive number, then it's become green. So here we need to specify that df dot colors, and then we need to specify alpha equal to 0.4, and line width I am going to keep is 5. Now we have drawn the plot. Now next step, we need to decorate this plot. So let's do it. Select this cell, press B, and the first step, we need to grab the current axis. So how we can grab it? plt dot get current axis GCA, and here you need to specify I want to set y level, and it is going to be the model $model, and then I need to set x level with mileage. So x level is going to represent the mileage $. So let's proceed further and let's create the y tick level. So let's look into that, what we are having at the y tick level. So at y tick level, you will find that we are having all the cars name. So how we can achieve this one? So let's look into that. So to access the y tick, we need to specify plt dot y ticks, and with the help of this method we can access the y tick level and specify what we want to print it over there. So we want that this car values should be printed at the y tick level. So we need to access first df dot index comma df dot cars. So this will access the y tick and specify all the cars name over there, and the size I want to use is the size 12. Once it is being done, then I need to specify title. So title we can specify over here, and here we will tell that diverging bars of car mileage, and here this time we are going to use the font size. For that I am going to use font text equal to size 20. So I need to specify 20 size. Another decoration I want to use, my grid should be presented with the line. So how we can do that? We need to specify plot dot grid, and here I need to specify the line style I want to keep is dash dash, and here we need to specify something called alpha equal to 0.5, and at last plot dot show. So we have done all the decoration over here. Now let's cut it and put it over here so that we will run it together. So now it is being done. So we have already executed till step 2. So to execute it, we need to first execute the step 3, and then we need to execute the Step 4, shift enter, and once you run it, then you will find that this graph is being plotted, and with the help of this divergence bar you can easily identify the variance between the cars model. And this is what I wanted to demonstrate you in this session. In the next session we are going to look into another deviation plot that is called diverging dot plot. So on this note I am stopping over here. See you in the next session. Till then, bye bye, take care.